Two men killed by police in Above Rock, St. Catherine. Two men have been shot and killed by police in St. Andrew North Division in separate incidents, which resulted in the seizure of two illegal firearms and ammunition. In one incident, a man identified as Nigel reportedly pointed a gun at police personnel who had gone to premises in Retirement District in Above Rock, St. Catherine about 5:40 a.m. Sunday. The police reportedly took evasive action and fired at Nigel, who was shot and injured. He was later pronounced dead at hospital. The police say a Taurus 9mm pistol and 4 rounds of cartridges were seized in that incident. Later at 7 a.m., another police party entered another section of the community where a man known as Biggs was killed in an alleged confrontation with the police. An Arcus 9mm pistol affixed with a magazine containing 10 rounds of ammunition was reportedly seized from him. The Independent Commission of Investigations has launched a probe into the shootings. Golden blames government inaction for staircase collapse at Torrington Park. Opposition leader Mark Golden is blaming government inaction for the incident in which a staircase at a state-owned high-rise building in Torrington Park collapsed, injuring one person and leaving residents of 16 apartments unable to access their homes. Golden, who is the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew South constituency, in which the building is located, says the dangerous incident could and should have been avoided, as he has been calling for repairs to the deteriorating structure since 2018. I have repeatedly reached out to key officials including then Permanent Secretary Arjeswell, former Minister of Housing Pernell Charles in 2021, and even Prime Minister Andrew Holness in both 2022 and 2023, he said in a media release. He added, for nearly 5 years, there has been no effective action taken to ensure the necessary repairs were done, in spite of meetings, inspections, and assurances that repairs have been approved, only for the work to be deferred, with nothing done to address this avoidable risk. He is calling for the government to urgently intervene to provide immediate support to the injured resident and stranded families and to implement a comprehensive plan to repair and rehabilitate the buildings in Torrington Park. DCS reports deaths of 2 inmates who experienced flu-like symptoms. The Department of Correctional Services, DCS, is reporting the passing of 2 inmates at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine over the weekend who were reportedly experiencing flu-like symptoms. In a release, the DCS reported that the deaths occurred on Friday and Saturday. According to the release, the DCS confirmed that preliminary laboratory results have identified the influenza A virus in samples from 6 inmates at the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center and 1 inmate at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center. It said the management of these cases continues to focus on isolating inmates exhibiting flu-like symptoms, restricting movement within the facilities, enforcing strict hand-washing and sanitization protocols, mandating mask wearing by both inmates and staff, providing access to flu vaccines and vitamin C supplements, encouraging early report of symptoms, and conducting regular tests and continuous monitoring of staff and inmates. The DCS says it remains steadfast in its collaboration with supporting ministries and departments to safeguard the health and well-being of staff, inmates, and visitors to correctional facilities. Out in the cold. More than a decade since he was dismissed from the Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB after a criminal conviction that has now been overturned, Dwayne Brown is fighting for reinstatement. He was convicted in the then St. Thomas Resident Magistrate Court in November 2009 and handed a fine with a term of 6 months imprisonment at hard labor, suspended for 12 months. His attorney at law gave an immediate oral notice of appeal and later found grounds of appeal on the 17th of September 2010, after leave was granted for them to have been filed out of time. But even before the appeal was filed, on March 1, 2010, Brown was dismissed from service, with the JFB board citing an opinion that the then Dorothy Lightbird-headed Attorney General's chamber that it had no moral or ethical obligation to the former fireman. University and Allied Workers Union President Lambert Brown believes the JFB's decision and the opinion of the Attorney General were wrong, Firing is governed by and controlled by the Fire Brigade Act of Parliament. In that act, there is a regulation that specifically says if a criminal matter has been arisen to affect your member of the brigade, you may indict the member and you must await the outcome of the criminal action in court, Lambert Brown stated. He was referring to Section 35 of the Fire Brigade Act regulations, which stated that disciplinary action including dismissal should not occur until after criminal proceedings have been concluded and all appeals exhausted. Simply put, you can't terminate the employment of a person until all avenues of appeal have been exhausted, Lambert Burns stated. The JFB did not do that. The veteran trade unionist reasoned that the Attorney General ought to have been aware of the provision before offering an opinion. He added that the current JFB Commissioner Stuart Beckford told him that only the board can overturn a decision made by the previous board, but there has been no response from the current board despite his efforts. The inaction has been antagonizing for Dwayne Brown, whose decade-long legal battle stemmed from a dispute with a young woman with whom he was allegedly in a secret intimate relationship and who owed him money. While visiting her home to collect the remainder of the debt, she falsely accused him of inappropriate behavior. I lent her $12,000 and she gave me part of the money and tell me to follow her home for the rest. Me go to her home. Me don't do anything. And when me leave and she letting me go, she say me touch her upon her breast. At that me lose my job final, he stated. The prosecution argued that on the night of December 11, 2008, Dwayne Brown managed to enter the woman's house, which she had locked after reaching home earlier. When she was in the process of opening the grill to go to the police station to report his intrusion, he allegedly indecently touched her on her right breast. At the trial, one of the ex-firefighter's former colleagues testified that he had also lent the woman money and that on one occasion he saw Dwayne give her money. He further said that he had seen the woman sitting in Brown's lap at the fire station. A taxi driver also testified that on one occasion Dwayne paid him to take the woman home. During the trial, I begged the court to get the phone records to see the messages, to see the communication between me and the young lady, to show that it was about the money. They didn't act on it. I was a squad leader at training school. If you check out my record, I was in the top 3. I just passed the Lance Corporal exam and come up on a promotion. When this happened, he further explained. The appeal was initially filed on 4 grounds, with the defendant's list indicating that additional grounds would be added upon a review of the judge's notes of evidence. Those grounds were the failure of the trial judge to provide reasons for her decision. The decision was against the weight of evidence, the judge's failure to consider numerous inconsistencies in the case, especially in the evidence of the virtual complainant, and that the judge was openly hostile and impartial with the defendant and then his attorney. At the hearing of the appeal, however, only ground about the failure of the judge to account for her decision was argued and the others abandoned. Despite his exoneration, Dwayne Brown has been left without his job and facing personal hardship. He cited the collapse of an $800,000 insurance policy he had taken out for his father, which lapsed due to his inability to make payments during the lengthy court proceedings. He got no payout from the policy. He further noted the emotional toll and struggles in raising his 2 children, one of whom is now an adult alone. Their mother, he said, left him after he was dismissed from the JFB. My case took 10 years, and after decision, I took nearly another 2 years for the case to be finalized with the written judge. When me finally win, I me jump for joy and believe say me I go back to work. Them the JFB said the board did fire me. The ex-fireman said it's pure foolishness a go on. While he remains hopeful that justice will eventually prevail, the delay in his reinstatement has left Dwayne Brown and his family in limbo. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.